everyone. Welcome to Wednesday night of the Robotic Esports Productions recap.
Yeah, it's great to have everyone back here again. Did we do a Monday stream? I think we did, right?
Heck
What was
yeah,
Monday
we
the
did.
tier
It was
list?
just Memorial
Yeah,
Day.
Monday was the tier list. Dude, the Memorial Day weekend completely disrupted my sense of time. I was like, that was Sunday though, wasn't it? Has it been 3 days? It doesn't feel like it. But yeah, we're back today. We're going to be covering some more RMUC South Division regionals, the final match of that regional, and then we're going to start moving on to the Central regionals later this week. But yeah, it's been an interesting time to say the least in the Southern region. We've seen some really cool robots, a lot of really interesting strategies. Last time we saw the crazy multiple dart hits, 2-minute matches between Scut and who was there? Who were they playing against Preston again? It was Scut and someone, but I don't remember at this point. Maybe we both not remembering. Oh, it was Artnix. You're right. Artnix. That was it. And that was really cool. That was a great time. But yeah, we're just excited to be back in it. We love watching the RMUC matches. They're just so much fun. There's so much strategy to talk about. They're so fast paced. I love it. I adore it.
All right, yeah. I mean, with that being said, the grand finals are quite the long haul. So buckle up, buckle in.
Yeah.
I mean, the VOD is long. You guys will see it when we switch over. But my brain from yesterday is telling me these matches are going to be 2 minutes each. So, I mean, the rounds. I assume it's a best of 5 or something mega, but no more suspense is even needed. We can just dive on in.
Let's get straight into it.
We are trying from the actual live player this time, so if there's large buffer issues, I apologize. We'll kind of play it by ear as we go. Here we go.
So out the gate, who is in this finals? Actually, that's a good question. Let me double check real quick.
I believe Artnix is all the way in the finals.
Oh wow!
We're about to know right now. Hold on.
We're about to know immediately. Is this a rematch? Kind of fun.
Totally could be. Wouldn't be shocked.
Looks like Southern Agricultural University.
Yeah, it looks like the Agricultural University versus that's Scut on the right, correct?
That is Scut on the right, I believe. I'm gonna get the Google Lens out just to be safe. But
one of their logos that I recognize. They do a lot for the RoboMasters community. We were kind of talking about that last time.
Yep.
But for right now, let's check out these bots coming on the field. Crazy drive system from the red side Sentry. I'm gonna not pause anything tonight, y'all. Like I said, long VOD, late start. We're here. We're locked in. You got that lens up? Any wisdom from the team profile?
Yes, I've got it up and I'm currently checking it. Let's see what it says. The wisdom is not translating. Hold on. The wisdom is, and it's gone before I could get it. I'm sure the wisdom was great, but Team Taurus on the right, the red side, and we've got Scut on the left side. Here's Scut's wisdom. South China Tiger, don't sit, just do it. Just like Nike. But yeah, we're really excited to see these two teams. These two teams were really solid whenever we watched them before. Obviously, Scut did amazingly in that one match against Artnix, and we saw Taurus as one of the earlier matches that we watched. Kind of funny that we got them both back here.
Yeah, I mean it is. It's also, I mean, we would expect, right? We'd expect these teams. They do well every year. Congratulations to them to make it to the regional finals. Excited to see them, continue on in RMUC in July when we start covering the grand finals and the international competition series. Dang, this hero robot is pretty impressive. You can see top 5, top 6 in most of their categories, right? That's going to be things like damage dealt, kills, accuracy, 42.7% accuracy.
Number of shots fired as well.
Awesome.
40% accuracy is incredibly strong. That means that you're hitting pretty much you're probably hitting most of those base shots, maybe missing 1 or 2 at the very beginning when you're lighting up the shot. But once you're there, right? That's an incredibly strong accuracy.
Balancing bot here for blue standard 4.
Yeah.
Chain drive is not something we see a lot.
What is a chain drive, Preston? I saw just chains. I'm assuming tank tread style, but
no. Yeah. I just meant instead of a belt drive, where you're using a belt to transmit rotation, right? They're just using a chain. So you can see on this standard The yaw was actually done with direct gearing. We'll see a lot of belts, a lot of belts. We just don't see a lot of chains. I mean, frankly,
Yeah.
they're kind of heavy. They're a little bit, you know, you got to get your tension right, which is also true about belts. But in my opinion, belts can be a bit more forgiving. But belts also stretch on you a lot more. So pros and cons.
Yep. Yep. Makes sense. Makes sense. It seems like we're going into this probably with a technical timeout of some kind. Maybe a ref technical timeout, though. Let me actually translate and see if it tells me what the difference is right now on the bottom. This is where most teams, I think, would at least try to save their technical timeouts for, is like these last final matches. You know, once you're there, like, might as well start spending them, right? This is also going to be a best of 5. So they could play up to 5 matches here. You need to win not by just 2, but 3 total matches in order to win the whole thing, which is probably why we see this longer 1.5-hour match VOD here. Doesn't really tell us who could win because these matches could be 2 minutes. They could go to the full 7 minutes. And even with the full 7 minutes, timeouts in between, breaks, other things like that, you could still hit that 1.5 hour really easily, even if you win 3-0.
Being the grand finals, I also don't know how much of like the pomp and circumstance this will include. Right? Like we could get 30 minutes into this VOD and realize that, you know, the next hour is award ceremony in
chilling,
Chinese.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But Team Taurus on the red, Scut in the blue. 10th anniversary of RoboMasters Southern Region Grand Finals round.
It's kind of funny, actually, to me. This is a little tangent before this match starts. It's the 10th anniversary for RMUC. It's also 10th anniversary for RMNA, or sorry, the 5th anniversary for RMNA.
Yes.
But as we're off to the races here, Taurus versus Scut, both teams are going to go for the silver cubes with their engineer. Red engineer and blue engineer just deciding to go for the silver cubes. Probably not running the risk going all the way up to the center plate.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that changes for round 2 once they kind of know that they're not contested.
Yeah.
Whoa, directly right out of the gate, Red Hero showing off that accuracy 3 in a row, absolutely melting the outpost of Team Scut. Not to be outdone, Scut returning fire and Taurus's outpost following likewise.
Yep. Taurus's drone now doing a ton of damage, as well as the standard seems to be doing some projectile damage as well. That will take the outpost completely down now. But Scott's not far behind, 20 more health on the board, and that will take out the outpost as well for the Taurus side. And we're seeing some shots already being fired here.
Look at the drone from Team Taurus absolutely melting the robots in the middle of the field. It scares off balancing blue 4. And now the hero for both sides lining up shots. See if any of these connect from Scut. That's 4 shots fired, 0 connected. This is a tough moment. There we go. On the board.
On the board. Scut now taking the lead.
Oh my goodness. As soon as he hit that first projectile, the next 5 all landed.
It's all about lining up that shot. Once you know where you're kind of supposed to be going, that's where you'll hit.
A little bit of sentry
dart
versus
opening
sentry
up on
combat.
the Scut side.
You might see as the dart opens. And it's a hit. Scut lands their
dart.
Wow.
Are they going to try again? Another one?
Yes, they will. Oh, so close.
Barely missed. One more?
Really interesting difference in the outpost takes here led to the change in game as the sentry drives off the curb. Oh no. And now look, the sentry for the red team is entangled maybe with red standard 3.
With the red standard 3 there.
But I was going to say the outpost of Team Taurus was taken down by Scut using a base hit with the dart, using their sentry and their standard robots primarily. This allowed their hero to have projectiles immediately ready, so that there's so many bots down, so that when the outpost went down, he could start barraging that base.
That's going to be really tough if you're on Taurus's team. You know, you're down a robot, and in this kind of match where both teams are going to be incredibly accurate, incredibly strong with all their robots, it's just not going to be a good situation at all. It's going to be really hard to come back at this point. You can't push an offensive at all on their hero at this point, and it's going to keep taking pot shots, and it's landing them. You know, a couple more shots and that base is open, and they're going to rush you. It's a scary situation to be in if you're Team Taurus. You're not lost yet, but you're not looking good.
This might be like an RMUC first. How often do you think 2 fully autonomous sentries, as more hero shots land across the field, both end up tipped over to each other?
Staring each other down.
There's a meme there. We need to clip that. When it zoomed in on both this shot right there.
I think the crazier part is that the sentry is still alive, by the way. It hasn't actually been knocked out. It's just sitting there sideways. It still has some health on the board, as you can see in the top left of the screen.
I believe it auto-regened. So I thought.
Oh,
'Cause
that
they,
might
you know,
make more
sentries
sense.
now auto regen just like every other robot.
Yeah, but I thought you had to
Different
be in
configuration.
the zone still to get that auto regen.
Mm. Oh,
Yeah.
not regen. My apologies. They
Mhm.
revive, don't they?
Yeah, but they're not taking any more damage on either side. Both
Yeah.
both sentries are currently alive and not taking any damage at the moment.
Hmm. The drone absolutely melting Blue Standard 4, who is not really moving. There we go. Now he's
He's
going to
trying to
try
run
to run
away. Is
away.
he gonna get out of there? I don't think he's gonna get out of
I
there.
don't
I
think
think
so.
he's
That was an
gone.
odd look. He just kind of sat. Um, the red engineer doing a great job of body blocking as
As some hero shots are coming in from Red Hero 1, Tara's hero over here, and landing those shots really amazingly. Hasn't missed one yet.
oh my gosh, we're
Tara's
within a
actually
point.
taking the
Now it's
game straight
farther.
back to its just completely turning the tide here. One more shot and it opens up the base. Oh, one more. Just one more. And it's the base is now open. But a
These
dart comes
darts
in,
have to hit for Team Scut if they want to stay in it.
almost able to even it back out by hitting that dart, but not quite. Oh, and even Taurus is now getting in on the dart fire.
Oh,
That counted as one, didn't it? Did I
yes,
read
it
that
did. It
correctly?
counted as one.
Unfortunate for Team Scott over here.
The red hero was able to take out the blue engineer, but inconsequential at this point. Good body block attempt from that blue engineer. But the Scud will need. I mean, they'll need everything at this point. With 2 minutes left to go, they'll need defense. They'll need offense. Their hero needs to escape the clutches of Red Standard 3.
Yep. Restaurant 3 going over and terrorizing the hero, and Blue Standard 3 not really doing well, not doing well on HP. Chases it down.
Oh my
Genius play by
gosh.
Restaurant 3. That hero might have just knocked out Red Standard 3. It gets back up. It just stands itself back up. You cannot
Yeah.
keep it down.
A full court press from both sides. Look at this drone projectile fire coming down from. Oh, this is the perspective from that red drone trying to protect that hero. Calling in resources was really smart there. Red Standard 3 able to call in resources, stay on the opponent's side of the map. Look, more projectiles coming across, all the way across the map. That's been a really cool addition to the game. Allowed him to stay and now absolutely melt the base. 220 projectiles is what he got from that package. And he's able to finish off the base with about a minute left to go. Surely he'll have enough time and energy. Standing tall. Oh my goodness,
Gets
Team Taurus.
eviscerated by the engineers. Scott's engineer dive bombing him like he's Max Verstappen.
Wow. Okay, round one goes the way of Taurus. If I was a betting man, I would have lost so much money on how many robots would flip over in the grand finals of an RMUC region. That was crazy.
Yeah, because my answer would have been 0. I wouldn't have expected
Yeah, maybe
any of them to
one,
flip over.
right? Like,
Maybe
these are not the
one.
teams where I'd expect, but there's 3, I think. I think there were 3 bots flipped
There were
over.
3 total bots that flipped over.
my
The Blue
word.
Standard 4 did pick itself back up. Looking at the stats here, Taurus just kind of ran away with it towards the end there. The beginning definitely looked pretty even, pretty solidly even, with Scott maybe taking a slight lead with the base health. But Taurus, just look at the number of like hero shots landed. You look at the left and the right side, and it's just a completely different ball game. And that's what really ended up being the difference maker here. Taurus was able to get the right amount of pressure onto the blue hero as much as possible, keeping it out of the zone from sniping. And that's how you win the base race, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and I know I'm the commentator that preaches, you know, all 3 robots in RMNA, which here would be all 7 bots or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, the red team kind of won this with 2 bots. Like it's just their hero and then 1 standard. Red Standard 3, Red Hero 1 had the
their
whole
engineer
freaking
was
game.
also making better econ, to be fair. The engineer did make almost 1.5 times the econ on the red side, and that's because they were able to control that center space with that standard a lot better than Scott could.
But the hero accuracy cannot be overstated. Oh, it's absolutely criminal that he's not on this MVP page. Melted the outpost. I mean, the first like 5 shots in a row, right, on spinning armor panels, wild. And then we saw 11 enhanced damage rounds onto the base for that.
That's not an easy feat at all either. Like, you have to be in a very specific zone, chat, in order to actually make any of those shots like count as like a 300 damage instead of 200 damage. It's a difficult shot. And the red hero would line up and start hitting them first try without any issue, which was amazing. It's not something you see often. We're looking at the Red Standard 3 here that just got rammed at the very end of that game, and it seems to be in good working condition still. Seems to have no issues. Picks itself right back up, ready to start fighting immediately. Very well built balancing that the Taurus has made here.
It's a beautiful bot. My word.
I love it. It's interesting. The leg design here, if you look at it, usually you see like the double, like I guess I don't know what the word would be, like the two hinges, right? Like one on the left, one on the right side. Here instead, we're seeing only one hinge joint on like and it kind of curves like that. That's an interesting design. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, no, it is. It is a very interesting design. In contrast to the red team's accuracy, the blue team's hero 35% accuracy. It's not bad. Top 9, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Top 9, right? It's not gonna be up to snuff with these top tier teams from the region. And Scut has been able to overcome that with general gameplay, like all of their team members and their darts, right? But against a team like Taurus, who has equally as good darts, who has standards, who are playing the game very well as well, that hero accuracy, in my opinion, was the difference maker between Team 1 and Team 2 in Game 1.
Especially when taking out that outpost. That outpost, they had to spend a lot more resources from their drone, and their hero didn't have as many projectiles to start launching those base attacks from the Scut side. And, you just lose out on the damage at that point.
I need to keep an eye out this time and figure out where the heck the standards for the blue team are in the second half of the game. The red team standards are so involved, or at least standard 3 is so involved in the second half. Either doing a full court press, defensively stopping the hero on the blue team from being able to fire, or defending that middle zone for their engineer econ. And I don't understand where the blue standards are. Perhaps they just keep getting spawn killed by the red standard. I'm not sure. We'll have to keep an eye out.
Yeah, I am interested as well. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we're started at the match again. Taurus versus Scut. Both engineers going again for the silver cubes. It looks like no change in the rollout there. We'll see who gets to center island first. Looks like the red sentry is going to be making it up there first.
Oh, no. Team Taurus' drone is down.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that drone
Scut has a huge advantage
Blue
now.
Standard 3, though, taking a poor exchange here versus the red sentry. Can anyone capitalize and finish off? They can. They're able to get the kill down on the Blue Standard 3.
However, Blue Sentry has now taken over the entirety of the mid lane.
I believe the red team secures an additional kill, unless we went backwards in time there for a second.
Red Standard 4 looking really worse for wear. The Sentry tracks it all the way across the top ramp to make sure that the Red Standard 4 does not survive. Coming into their base now, Blue Sentry is not a team player today. Blue Sentry is trying to no-diff the entirety of Taurus' team.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, at least the Sentry didn't flip over this time. The red Sentry is in the middle of the base, probably taking a little bit of fire from a Blue Standard, and maybe perhaps from the drone as well. Yes.
Seeing some darts launch now.
Red Sentry will get taken down by the drone. Didn't really have a lot to do there in the middle.
Kind of a little confused why the red team is shooting their darts at the base here. Taurus shot 2 darts that looked like they were going towards the base. Maybe they were intended for the outpost and just were super off, which is very possible.
Perhaps. So similar to game 1, Scut in the lead. About a 600 HP lead on the bases now.
Yeah.
Darts coming across, widening that lead significantly. Excellent job from Scut. This is what they need.
They have locked down both of the blue standards as well. Taurus has locked down both blue standards on their side. They don't seem to be able to get out of there yet.
Yeah, this is eerily similar to round 1, right? Team Scut is in the lead significantly, but the standards for Team Taurus seem to be in a little bit happier state. Here comes Red Standard 3. See if he can be the game changer, the playmaker one more time.
Yeah. Red Hero here taking shots, trying to even up the health distribution here. Those dart shots that Scut did land are going to be quite difficult to catch back up to. Using radar again, trying to see where everyone is.
Red Standard 3 able to make the jump without a problem. That lets him get past that hallway that's currently jammed by a robot.
Scut's drone coming in, trying to put some suppression fire back onto Red Standard 3. Not entirely accurate, though.
Red Standard 3 chasing down the engineer. Is he able to kill him off? It won't make that big of a difference. I mean, he's so close to the base, not able to finish it.
both standards now from the Taurus team are harassing the blue side. They're unable to really make any like progress here as the red hero has taken down most of the HP on the blue, has now made it so that the red team has the lead.
Standard 4, Red Standard 3 doing that job that we identified last round. They're just keeping the blue team busy. Meanwhile, Taurus's hero is unmatched. He's just chilling, sitting in his chair, playing cookie clicker.
Blue Standard 3 just launched an incredible assault onto the blue on the red engineer. It was able to knock it out from very far away.
I was touting this guy's accuracy, but this hero is missing. There we go.
There we go.
Shots.
He's back. He's back.
There it is.
Commented his curse. He's back. The base is now also exposed from the Taurus side. And we saw
left. If Scott doesn't do anything, maybe he ran out of physical projectiles. That's unfortunate.
Scott is now, however, doing something. They're attempting to secure their own shots onto the base, but not really making these shots incredibly accurately yet. There we go. There's one. There's two.
Those panels are in such a difficult spot to hit. They're underneath. They're in front. The panel they're actually aiming for is directly in front of that green light. It's an angled panel facing up. Another dart.
A dart shot, though, will put them in the lead. That's 3 darts that have landed this game. Is that a fourth one? A fourth dart has hit the base.
Got the dart launching team has the whole university on their back right now. It's aching.
Taurus is now also opening up their dart launcher, maybe trying to see if they can even it up a bit easier.
Taurus doesn't need their dart launcher. Their hero has 30-something projectiles.
One more hero shot, and it will even up the game.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, we're at a base race officially. Who's going to take it down first? It looks like Taurus might. One more shot will do it. And that's game for Taurus. They were just a little bit more accurate on their hero, and that allowed them to take the game.
Shaur, I gotta say, I am really impressed by the darts and the heroes. I am a little bit disappointed that neither team adapted their strategies round 2. I felt like I watched a repeat of round 1.
Absolutely. And I think what's even wilder is that the repeat of round 1, despite the fact that Taurus's drone dropped off the field, like you would think there would be something to capitalize on there. And we're actually seeing here that there was a lot more 17mm projectiles launched by the Scott side versus the Taurus side. I think, however, that's a distribution of econ thing here, where Taurus was just more focused on getting those 42mm. If you can see the total damage done at the very top, Taurus obviously doing a lot more damage because they hit a lot more of those 42mm shots. But
they also didn't have their drone, right? Which is a lot of free 17mm projectile launches.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to highlight that stat, though. 4 darts launched by Scott and hit versus 0 that Taurus actually hit. And still able to, like, win out in the long run feels very, like, suspicious to me strategy-wise from the Scott side.
I mean, it's 14 42mm advanced shots at 300 damage per increased hero shot.
Yeah.
And these darts are awesome. Excellent.
These darts are
keeping
amazing.
Scott in the conversation, keeping them in the game. But I mean, Team Taurus, this was the story of round 1 and round 2.
It's all the accuracy of that hero. Top 5 accuracy versus top 9 accuracy. It truly does make that much of a difference.
Yeah, I don't see any aggression from Scott onto that hero. Taurus is always defending their hero with push.
Where did Scott's standards go this time? I still didn't see them very active in the game. They're very passive in these 2 games. They haven't really been making any plays, making any like definitive statements to try and get that hero out of the positioning that it's staying in. It just gets to stay in the sniper spot the whole time, get that extra damage. And yeah, I would agree. Taurus's hero is absolutely the MVP. Look at that 43.9% accuracy. Absolutely amazing from the Taurus side.
If Scott wants to have a chance in round 3, they have got to apply some pressure to this hero. Especially in the second half. I mean, I say that, but I don't want to see South China send their standards over early. I think they'll die. I think they'll lose on the other side of the map, and then they'll have an increased version of this problem. They need to choose their moment carefully, but once we start getting to that base race section, I think they need to put all their eggs in one basket, and they need to understand that in a base race, they lose because their accuracy is worse. So they need to stop the hero from Team Taurus. They cannot let it come down to a shootout.
Yeah, they'll never win if they stay even. They have to take the lead early and keep Taurus from ever gaining on them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they try. I mean, they could try ignoring the standards from Team Taurus. Perhaps they should play a bit more with their sentry. Both sentries seem very functional, but have, in my opinion, questionable self-driving tactics.
Mhm.
They're just kind of going for it. I mean, round
Yeah,
one, obviously they crashed, but round two, they still um, had a difficult time staying involved in the game. Right? The blue sentry went all the way onto the red side base and then got eliminated. The red sentry just kind of sat in the middle and got eliminated.
yeah. I do think it's interesting how the sentries have both been very like. I guess this term isn't worthless, but it might be close to that. Like, not very impactful, I guess is what I would say, between the two teams. It's just an interesting. It's interesting to me that like they can't seem to get them both working and involved the same way. And I feel like that's really going to be like if either of them could get a sentry on board that really worked well, I feel like they'd be significantly better on either side because then you could take control of that center spot a lot easier. And then it's like the heroes are not going to be able to just sit there and snipe forever.
Yeah.
So that would be my
Or,
personal
right. So
change.
one of the other options that I think would be very doable is if you use your sentry in a defensive position, right? So let's say
Yeah,
your team Scud. If you're at South China, um, and you use your sentry defensively, this should free up your standards to go and try and poke down the hero, right?
yeah.
Um, Red Standard 3 has been so on it for Team
Red
Taurus.
Standard 3 is like doing crazy maneuvers, getting into the base immediately, taking out the hero as much as
Yeah.
possible.
I don't
It's been
think
good.
that they can just ignore Red Standard 3. So I believe
Mhm.
they do need to have someone defending, or else their hero is just going to get taken down all the time. So perhaps using the AI Sentry as your defensive mechanism would be more beneficial.
Yeah, that makes
All right,
sense to me.
Chart. You want me to scrub ahead and try to find round three?
Let's do it. Let's do it. I think we don't need to stall too much. We're not on a live stream. We don't need to actually sit here and stall like we would need to in the real competition.
Yeah, you can see in the
Oh
bottom right hand
wow, that took
corner,
forever.
they're prepping the field. In between, in these best of fives, they will give general time. So I believe there's like a 10-minute break or something in between round two and round three,
Yep.
which doesn't count as anyone's timeout. It just allows all the teams a bit of a reprieve. This might be, and because we're already in the land of pausing,
Mm-hmm.
this might be the most simple engineer I have seen from such an advanced Robomaster team. Blue Standard 2,
Really,
like, yeah,
it
yeah,
is just an
really.
arm on a mobile base.
It's
Yeah, I guess
arm
it
on a
is
plank. It sure
arm
is.
on a
It's
plank.
one
What else do
suction
you
cup.
need?
It just
It
it goes up and down. I mean, it has a little wrist on there.
probably can rotate the wrist as well. I will say, like, I work in a lot of mobile manipulation projects
Hmm.
as part of my specialty at my company, and it's really hard to optimize the arm on a base. Like, it's just like you get so many degrees of freedom by just having the ability to like three links and like a couple of revolute joints there. It's like you can basically hit almost any end effector pose you want, right? Like
Yes.
the arm is very the arm is like very easy to get right in my opinion. It's hard if you just follow like the kind of like the design principles of like UR for example and their six off arms or Yaskawa if you're from Japan, those kind of arms, the same six off like grab and effector arms, like those are pretty solid for those building engineers. It's also really easy to do the kinematics for them, which means that you can do the inverse kinematics for them super easily, which means that you can program them very easily, and thus you won't
Yeah.
be ever running into like logistical errors in your controller code in which you'll be like, oh my god, I have 7 different joint controllers here that are doing this one motion and it's like hitting singularities everywhere. But yeah, it's a solid design. I like the one arm on the base design. It's one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think. And are those two things on the back? You think so he can hold extra cubes?
That would be
He's
my
got
guess. Yeah,
two
I'm
of
gonna
those
watch him
storage
closer.
spots. It's really clever, right? That way, most of the robots we're seeing have 3 suction cups. They'll have one robotic arm, like Shaur's talking about, and then they'll have 2 that are on much less manipulatable sticks, right? They don't have
Yeah,
rotation. They pretty much just travel linearly in and out.
yeah,
Um,
because they're supposed to be more on like they're basically like set up so that like the link-wise, they would be rotating and maneuvering with the larger arm. So if the larger arm is in position, you'll get like another one or two that are able to grab.
Yeah. But the blue team just did the one arm and then just gave it some storage spots, which is really clever, I think.
I think it's clever. I think it's also way simpler to design for and a lot easier to use as like as a manipulator. As like a driver, like I feel like the ability to grab and put things somewhere like is a lot more intuitive for the kind of controllers that are used on engineers, because you're usually using like a haply device or some sort of other haptic kind of like you know, arm maneuvering tool. Like you're using your own hand essentially with like either like something in VR or something along those lines. So I think that like makes a lot more sense to me than having to like do like weird maneuver precision. Like, oh, I have like this side arm and this side arm. I want to get all three together at once. And then you see like teams will back in and out and will be like adjusting themselves a lot. And it takes a lot more to wrap your head around.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I'll say kind of towards the awesome simplicity of that engineer, you'll hear us harp a lot about reliability. And it might sound like we're saying do it better, right? Like it's not useful advice. We're like, oh, they should make a more reliable robot. From a mechanical standpoint, one of the ways that we quantify reliability is the number of unique parts and especially the number of moving components.
Yeah.
As the number of unique and moving components increases, the reliability of a design typically decreases almost always. Right? If you have something extremely simple like a hammer that is one part and has 0 moving parts, the reliability is going to be through the roof, right? Like when was the last time you actually broke a hammer using it the way it was supposed to be used? Never in my life, right?
I've never broken a hammer.
Yeah,
I've never even
things
shipped a
go
hammer.
up in complexity and have a lot of moving parts and have
like a drill
parts in general, you start to have issues, right? If you have a car, right, as a big example. So that's just wanted to point out that that's another big plus. I know outside of the engineering field, simple can sometimes have a negative connotation, but as engineers, simple is definitely a compliment.
Absolutely. I think actually like First Robotics design is really good at this, of like keeping simple yet very effective designs. Like I remember this is a personal anecdote, and I'll go into this because we're in a timeout right now. But when I was in First Robotics, we built this one like robot that would collect gears, right? And you were given two options to play the game. You could either do gears or shoot balls. And part of the design there was like, well, we can still score points by just doing gears, and it's way simpler to do like a passive manipulation thing where you just pick up the gear from the ground, it goes into a box, and then that box just actuates up and down. Super simple. Ended up getting second place in the state for that one. I think it was state UIL. Or like that kind of stuff is like that's what wins you games, right? It's like it's actually to put like an esports twist to it as well, right? There's this concept of tournament characters in the fighting game community. Tournament characters being characters who are not necessarily the most complex, not necessarily the most like crazy strong, even like not even the best, most optimal characters, but they're so simple it's hard to fail as them. You can play your game plan, you only have to worry about what you want to do and what you're going to do with that character. You're not trying to worry about the input mechanisms, you're not trying to worry about the difficulty of the like execution, you're not trying to worry about what's the most optimal way to play it. You just play the game plan and it works surprisingly well. But yeah, so that's what I would say is like to kind of bring that back into the esports realm of like keeping it simple means you get to play your strategy, you get to play your game plan a lot more, as opposed to having to worry about, oh, I need to like maneuver a specific way, or like I only work in this particular direction, or XYZ only happens this way.
100% agree. All right, round 3. Tars versus
both engineers going straight for the silver cubes again. I love that engineer. Look at it. It's so cute.
Let's see what he does with this cube. I want to see if he
Blue Sentry seems like it's going to be bum rushing the red team again. Oh, but it does stop ahead of time and starts taking out the red standard 3. Does it get the kill? It's really close. It does get the kill.
Meanwhile, both engineers are doing the same thing. Forward. They've each taken a silver cube and stuck it in their backpack. In the drone now, launching at the engineer. Rude.
Both drones are online again, which is great to see.
Oh my gosh, the accuracy from Team Taurus is ridiculous. We're not even a minute into the game, and he just ran out of projectiles. It's the only reason.
Looks like Red Standard 3 has dropped itself off the map and is unable to maneuver anymore.
You talking about Red Standard 4?
The 4? Oh, that is 4. Yeah.
4's
no, look at the left.
It's just a balance.
Oh, there it is. Got it. Understood. I couldn't tell if that was 3 or 4. All right. The red outpost is already down, and Scud is making their moves now with their hero. Scud is taking complete control of the center. I think this is a lot better for them. Both standards are not pushing too hard. They're not rushing into the red base. They have center control. They are in a much better spot to take care of the red team. As I say that, though, they might be pushing their
every
sentry.
round has started.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they need to stay this way, right? I don't think they should go in. Oh, but they're going in.
Oh my gosh, the red hero getting absolutely annihilated. That's different. Blue standard 4 making an absolute charge. 25 projectiles in that hero's hopper. That's a lot of gold. That's a lot of time. 20 seconds.
They took 10 minutes just to relax and think about it, and things are getting better now for them.
Good strategy change. Blue standard 4, if he can get out of there, it makes it even better. Oh my goodness. One shot. He's absolutely one shot.
Oh. But is he getting out? He's getting out.
He leveled up. He's safe. He's safe.
I also like the blue sentry is not just like.
Oh my goodness, a big collision there between red standard 3 and the AI
knocking over red standard 3, but it picks itself back up anyways. That's an amazing balancing. That balancing has been like rammed 4 times this like match and has picked itself up every time. Actually gets revenge back onto the blue sentry, knocking it out.
Oh my goodness, what a jump.
Blue standard 3 now in the red team zone, just trying to harass and maybe keep the pressure on for the red hero.
Look at the level difference. Red standard 3, red standard 4 have gotten no kills so far this game, so their levels are extremely low. This is not really how they're used to playing. Scut has completely taken control of the game. They're not allowing cars to use the strategy.
All right, we're seeing a dart open up over here.
That's actually the engineer trying to score.
Oh, that is the engineer trying to score. I couldn't tell. It was so small.
The hero for South China landing some of their shots. You know, that 30 to 35% accuracy kind of showing itself. They're launching a lot, but honestly, as long as their standards can keep it locked down, it's more than enough. Blue
standard 4 doing an amazing strategy, sitting in that center, being able to block itself away from the drone fire and just taking pot shots at the hero all the way back there. Like, you'll see if it comes back out, it'll start firing again at it. Genius level play from blue standard 4, just making it so it's really hard for the hero to get out. Oh, it's been distracted a little bit. It has been distracted, so red hero is now actively in sniping position. Can they make up the difference? We've seen them before do it. They're launching projectiles. Blue standard 4 now has to drop down.
Blue standard 4 does notice. He takes the initiative. This is good. This is really important.
Red hero immediately leaving. Blue standard 4 does get knocked out. Red hero is able to make it out without losing all their HP. But I think that was a good play. You remove the issue, right? And red standard 4 takes a little bit of HP off of you, takes a little bit of XP off of you, but still ahead.
Yeah,
and that is a good spot to be in.
Thinning. As the game goes on, passively and because of kills, the red team is going to catch up on XP. And that's
red hero 1 is now uncontested at the moment, trying to get in that sniping zone again. But the blue standard 3 now cycling in, trying to do some damage and poke it out of its position. It is able to do so. Blue standard 4 is now back online. 2 darts crossing paths like ships in the night. Scuts is the one that lands, though.
South China doing an excellent job. If they can just land a couple more hero shots, I mean, heck, they could use their standards now.
Yeah. Scut could now use their standards. I think they shouldn't, though. I think this is a good way to play the game. Play it a little bit slower. Make it so that hero never gets back online, because we've seen before. Once the red hero is online, it's very difficult to stop a sweep.
That blue engineer getting taken down, in my opinion, is very large. That's a lot of gold cubes. You can see the one that was holding the active entire economy is dropped because of the power loss.
Blue standard 3 actively fighting back in their base again. Blue standard 4 also fighting the red standard, and red standard goes down. Drones are now involved. Red's drone is coming back over to take out blue standard 3. It's pushed blue standard 3 all the way into the red resupply zone. How are they going to get back out of there?
If you're South China, though, I think you just bum rush from here. 1200 is such a low HP. I think so as well. Just send everything.
I think you send it as well.
Take a couple
Scott is still trying to make some hero shots here.
35 projectiles, but absolutely melted. An accurate hero still doesn't win against a level 10 standard.
Nope. There's just no way.
Was built for this.
I love how they're cycling their standards in the base this time. Blue standard 4 will go in, will drop. Blue standard 3 will go in. Once the hero's back up, will drop. Blue standard 4 is already back alive at that point because enough cycle time has passed and you've already knocked out the hero enough. Like, they're truly only focusing the red hero. And I think that's genius. You know, it's the only thing that Taurus really has over you if you're Scott. It's the thing that you really need to worry about.
That's true. I am a little nervous with how much trouble South China seems to be having closing this game out. I mean, they could be confident enough that they could be using this as practice time. But honestly, in a grand finals best of 5 match point, I feel like I would have just slammed the door. And I'm a bit nervous that they have not been able to slam the door. With 45 seconds left to go, they still haven't finished off that base.
Yeah. 36 seconds left on the clock. They can win. Like, it's incredibly difficult. I don't even think it's necessarily possible to come back with just the amount of damage you'd have to do.
Taurus definitely can't win, right? We see it all the time in esports. This is a situation where, yes, the game will go to South China, and they definitely performed a lot better. Their mid game was fantastic, but their end game makes me really nervous. As we see, I mean, Team Taurus making a last 12-second push, their hero getting body blocked a little bit. Blue Standard 4 will ensure they finish off with a win here, scaring off that red hero. As South China pushes us to round 4. Really well played. I loved what South China did there. They pushed in with their standards. They got the early kill, which gave them that level lead, and then they played aggressive with their standards, allowing their hero to just chip away at the base. The lower accuracy didn't matter because the red hero was not firing. They understood that they lose the shootout competition, and so they chose a different game to play. Really well played. Team Taurus really seemed uncomfortable playing from behind. Their standards did not. I mean, no one on their team performed well. 6 kills to 14, 5,000 damage to 11,000 damage. It wasn't close. Those 3 darts definitely helping South China, but I think even without those darts,
well, the real change in strategy. Or continue.
I was just gonna say it's notable that the number of sniper hero shots hit did not increase for South China. They still only hit 4, which is what I'm getting at. Like, their hero without pressure still performed just as averagely. Whereas when Team Taurus wins, they're getting 11, 12, 13 sniper hero shots on the base.
Yeah. And I think that's what Scott realized, is that they won't win this if they let Taurus just kind of run free with their hero. That is the most important robot on their team. They have to make sure it gets knocked out. I can agree with these 2 MVPs, especially Blue Standard 4 was really involved in that game. The cycle time on it, like I was mentioning, was really good. Able to walk in and out and be able to do stuff, be able to keep that hero down as much as possible. The downtime on that hero, I wonder if we could do a calculation on how much that hero was knocked out for that entire game. I think it'd be a significant amount.
I think our logo may have been covering it up for you, but that drone had 4 kills. I wonder how frankly influential the drone was in that early game swing, because those standards just need an early kill. If you can get your standard an early kill, you'll get the XP lead, and from there, it's your trade to lose, right? As long as you pick good fights, you should always win with a good standard versus a good standard.
Absolutely.
I saw a team member blowing cold compressed air at one of their robots. That was very peculiar.
I've actually, so from what I understand, when I talked to a different Chinese team about this, because I'd seen it a couple times at RMUC, they do this to basically take the heat off of the components, so the motors, etc., because they're running them at really fast speed. And so that's just to make sure that they don't overheat for whatever reason. There's no critical malfunction. I think it probably doesn't change much.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think personally it would change much, but it's hey, it's a ritual of some kind, and it's not gonna hurt for sure, right? To be able,
yeah. I just my thought is, I love the phrase "heat transfer takes time." No matter how big the temperature differential gets, you need some time.
You need time. I just realized Taurus is the Minecraft team, because I can see that Ender Pearl again. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy the Minecraft team made it all the way to Grand Final to get to discuss the Minecraft stuff again. Very fun. Maybe they can speed on their way to a victory here, or we'll get to a game 5. Either way, I'm happy. More Robomasters is more Robomasters. And at the same time, I wouldn't mind, not having to spend the whole hour and a half on stream today. So either way, I'm in a good moment. I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, round 4. I'm very curious to see how it plays out. The early game really seems more critical in this matchup, which is interesting, right? Because in the first rounds, I would have said, South China was winning the early game, and they were ahead in objectives. But I think, I mean, to make a league callback, right? When you're watching a game of League of Legends and you're watching professional League of Legends, you not only get to see the kill count for each team, but you also get to see the team gold. And sometimes those are flipped. When you're playing the game, you only get to see team kills. But when you're watching in spectator mode, you can see kills and team gold. And so what I feel like has happened is round 1 and round 2, South China had more kills. They were ahead in objectives, but they didn't have more gold. They didn't have more map presence and tempo. There was no next step for them. Whereas with round 3, they had both. They had the kills and the next step. So
I think the map tempo is really important there, especially like controlling space in both NA and also in the RMUC full 5v5 or 7v7 is like the biggest deciding factor, I feel like, between who wins and who loses. Because if you control enough space, you snowball so fast because they just can't get back to their base to heal in time and also get enough projectiles to keep you from destroying them, right? You get the level advantage, you get the XP advantage, you get the health advantage, you get the damage advantage. Like everything is in your corner if you control all the space on the map. And that's why I'm really excited to see how this next match is going to go in 3, 2, 1. Who will take the space war? Will it be Taurus securing with a 3-1 win, or will we go to a game 5 from Scut? Engineers out, both getting the silver cubes. Again, no strategy change there. The rollout is the exact same.
It's just so elegant. Places it in the backpack and moves on.
I love the Scut engineer.
That might be my favorite robot in the middle. Team Taurus doing a great job.
This is the first time both sentries have made it out. Look at how much damage has already been done to the Scut outpost, though. The hero wasting no time, realizing that they're going to try and pressure it. Say, I'm not even going to worry about it.
Teamed up with the red sentry this time, which is how it got down even faster. See that red sentry retreating, less than 30 seconds to take down that outpost. Absolutely wild, not to be outdone.
Red sentry, the blue sentry almost knocked out entirely. The red drone chasing it down a little bit, but it is going to make it out. The red hero already putting pressure back on the base. Same for Scut's hero, though. Both heroes immediately base rushing.
Yeah, but we already know who wins in a base race.
We do know who wins in the base race.
You could see it right here with the accuracy as South China continues to fire projectiles, but they're just not landing.
They're getting one. Okay, there's a 200. They're still firing. They have more projectiles to use here, and as I said, that they just run out.
Yeah, 10 projectiles fired, and I think 2 hit, counting as hero shots. South China needs these darts to land to stay competitive in round 4.
And they have been, to be fair. And there goes another one. 625 damage on the clock immediately. Second dart launching now.
Oh,
misses the second dart. That's fine. You can come back.
I really think they need... They won't get a third dart in this volley. Oh, Team Taurus lands a dart, putting them solidly in the lead, and South China does not have the level advantage that they had in round 3, excuse me. The hero starting to land shots. See Red Standard 3 back in his spot. This is looking eerily familiar. Red Standard 3 harassing Blue Hero 1. Red Hero 1 just chilling. 30 projectiles in the hopper.
Scott is completely forgetting the objective here. They know what they need to do to win, and they're just
Blue
not
Standard 3's on it. Blue Standard 3's on it. He takes down
As
Red
I say that, Blue
Hero
Standard 3 realizing...
It's huge.
Wow, no one was there to stop him. The rest of Red's team was just not available at that moment. Blue Standard 3 also now dueling the Red Sentry, and this is not nearly as bad of a matchup anymore for the Blue Standard 3 because it's level 10 versus level 10. The rest are trying to get away, but it is not able to. However, Blue Standard 4 does get knocked out in the red team base and is getting pushed around by both standards. Just a little bit of a tap on the shoulder, a little left tap, expressing some frustration, surely. Red Hero is back
like that. South China is back.
Oh, are we buffering? Are we buffering?
I think so. I think we're buffering for the first time. We've been doing great. Let's just...
We're doing a great
Positive thoughts. What happened?
Positive thoughts.
Oh,
what
no.
Happened? Oh, no.
What?
Oh, we've restarted. We were at like an hour or 45 minutes, right?
Well, I don't want spoilers, so I'm going to err on the side of less.
Err on the side of caution. Err on the side of caution for sure.
Oh, come on. Don't do this to me, RoboMaster's website.
How could this happen? We don't get to know, Preston. No,
so good for so long.
We had gotten like almost an hour in with no issues. We've been streaming for about 49 minutes, so we've at least gotten 49 minutes in, but I know we skipped a lot of that mid-time. So hitting the refresh.
I did hit it with that refresh.
Seeing if it's better.
Ah!
Okay, yeah, perfect. But that was it. That was the round.
Oh, I freaked out.
And we're back. Sorry, guys. The Robomaster Live player is not great. And they also won't let you download things because they don't have great download either.
I've been trying to download so bad. Chat knows, though. If y'all watched my RMUC content last year when A&M was competing, I think at one point I even put my internet speed test on stream because I was so frustrated trying. It was just buffering. We were trying to watch live. It's like 2 a.m. in Texas. I'm trying to watch the team compete. All right, perfect.
All right, here we go.
4, 350.
We're back in the match. Round 4. Things are going fine for both teams. Resident 3 having a weird glowing effect over it. I don't know what that is about.
It's a power up.
Oh, it's a power up.
Yeah, it happened last round too.
All right. We're seeing some exchanges of some hero shots. The game is really even. Taurus being only 1 health down of Scott at the moment.
I'm going to try pausing it for a second and see if it buffers less.
Sounds good to me.
All right, chat.
Mark time, 54. Exactly 54 minutes.
I can't believe that South China is back in this round. I thought for sure they were out, but that 1 hero kill, my goodness. Blue Standard 4, if they win, MVP for sure.
1 hero kill, and also that 1 dart shot was able to keep them low enough on the base that they can still keep it in here. The problem is that if for whatever reason Taurus gets lucky and also lands a dart shot, it is kind of game over because then they'll be evening it up on the darts. And the hero is obviously significantly better on the Taurus side. They need to keep pressuring for sure from the Scut side. Let's see if we hit play now. What's going to happen?
Well, while we're paused, let's take a quick look at the levels because I agree with you. I think Taurus is actually in the better position right now. Across the board, they have higher levels on their robots. And what has been the decision maker for these games is the standards. The heroes, obviously, Red Hero 1 holding their team, right, pushing their team forward, but it's the standard performance that's been the tiebreaker. I think the darts plus Blue Hero 1 is about equal to damage per second to the base as Red Hero 1 by himself.
Yeah.
And so the tiebreaker has been the standards. Let's take a peek.
All right. Let's take a peek here and see if those standards are still going to be as influential going into the second half of this game at 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. And we're seeing some standard duel happening in the middle at the moment. Red standard versus Blue standard 4, maybe?
The drone also getting involved.
Yeah, Blue standard 3 is going to get taken out.
Finishes it off.
Now starts attacking the engineer, wanting to keep as little econ from Scud as possible. The engineer also goes down. Blue's engineer going down is really bad. You're going to lose out on a ton of econ. And you're already behind. Red Hero is going to go uncontested now. Both standards are currently down. One is trying to revive and get some more HP at the other side of the base. The Blue Sentry not able to make much progress as well because that red drone is doing so much defense. They're rushing again, but this time Scott actually is doing some
there
good.
It is. The Red Hero hadn't been firing. South China continuing their excellent dart performance.
Excellent dart performance. 2 darts hit. Scott actually ahead now with the hero damage by a significant amount of margins. And they're hitting every shot, Preston.
Sure. I think there might be something wrong with Taurus's hero.
I think you're right. It's not firing any projectiles.
Another dart shot connects. Full health in the correct position with 22 projectiles in this critical part of the match. It's going to go back to base at full health.
Blue Hero 1 out of projectiles. Good for a nice reprieve, a nice little couple of seconds that Taurus can get their stuff together and maybe able to still launch some projectiles. They're realizing, though, I think that they can't fire. I think that there's a hero jam for sure. That seems to be the case, Preston.
This is disastrous for Team Taurus.
This is how
I think they were in a pretty good position.
Yeah. Both drones coming back out now. This amount of suppression fire that's about to be happening from the red team is going to be insane.
Oh, he's firing. He's firing it at robots.
Has he unjammed himself?
Chat.
Has he? Maybe he was jammed and he's unjammed himself now? Oh, maybe he's out of physical projectiles? Is that what it is? Because he's going back to base.
Yeah, but he just went back to base. There's nothing about this that makes sense, Char.
Yeah,
he wasn't firing. He went back to base. He came out of base, fired some projectiles, then went back to base again.
Has
really
to be
impressive self-driving from Team Taurus Sentry as it takes the defensive point. Blue Standard 4 going to make a push, I believe, for the base. Watch him make this crazy jump in slow-mo buffer. Check this out.
instant replay slow-mo. We're going to watch this crazy jump here together, chat.
Whoa. Standard 4 decides against making this push. The hero
If I'm standard 4, I agree. That sentry was waiting for him. Red hero knocked out again by blue standard 3, it looks like.
That
and
should
as
be
that
the
happens,
end for Team Taurus.
It has to be the end. Scott needs to just land a couple more shots and it's over. However, as we say that, Scott is always the master of hitting the moving target, but just can't seem to crack it on this stationary plate now. Oh, as I say that, they get another one. Maybe a couple more. The drone even now taking some shots at the base, getting a couple hit there. You just got to send it, right? Like, you've got all the material advantage on your side. Just send it at this point.
Oh, I agree. That's what I was saying in the last round. I think once the actual physical armor panels, or armor protectors, what do we even call them? Because the armor panels are the targets. But once those physical panels come down from the base and expose the armor panels, I really think if you have level 10 standards and you've got a decent hero, that you could just make a big push. 2,000 HP is not a lot of projectiles. You could play it a lot of ways. You could take your standards and your hero and everyone could launch at the base, and you could just base race. Or I frankly think that you could just escort your hero into the base. Your standards could get involved in some robot-to-robot combat, and you could just walk your hero up there. And once you're point-blank range, it will take you less than probably 15 seconds to destroy the whole base from 2,000 HP with a hero.
Yeah, absolutely. With a hero especially, you could do that in 5 seconds. It's like 3 shots at this point, right? Maybe 4 shots at this point.
At this point, yes. I'm just saying from the 2,000 mark, they could,
from 2,000 mark.
They could escort him up. It's 10 shots.
Yeah. And as well as, once the base is open, the red team is less incentivized to even get out of their base. So they're going to be low health. They're going to be, you have the drone to suppress fire on them. I think a reload was smart there. As we're heading into the end of this match again, about 1 minute and 35 left on the clock. The buffer is no longer there. We're seeing the last little bits of this. Yeah, there goes that shot that did land. Or no, sorry. The next shot lands. And we'll see, can they finish it off here? Or is the hero going to go back and collect some more projectiles? Looks like it has to. 0 projectiles left on the blue hero. Taking a couple pot shots here. I mean, I guess Taurus isn't completely out of it yet, given that the blue hero does have to go back and grab some more projectiles. Like, technically, there's probably a way to win at this point. But it's really difficult, chat. It's very difficult to come back from this particular section.
I think this player's toast, Shaur.
Is it over? Oh, that's so sad. Let me see if I can pull it up on my side, and let's see if my stream works.
It worked so well for so long.
It was doing so well.
At least we're not at a suspenseful moment. We know who wins round 4. We should be going to Silver Scrapes. We should be going to round 5.
to dead ass finals, as we call it in the fighting game community.
In the league community, we call it Silver Scrapes. In a loving but gentle reminder that us little silver ranked League of Legends players are bad and cannot end games.
All right, pulling up match 89, and then I'm gonna share my screen.
We're at 56 minutes and 33 seconds, I believe.
Sounds great. Allow application window. Which one is the correct one? It's not this one. It's this one.
Guys, if you're watching this in post, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to hit follow. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're on YouTube. Don't forget to turn the notifications on Twitch. Shaur and I are streaming a ton right now.
Oh yeah. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday.
Yeah, I've loved having y'all come and hang out when y'all are here, and would love to. Oh, hey, thanks, Steven. Would love to keep having y'all come on back. So let me throw this in.
Oh, let me make sure I mute that.
Well, you can. I can adjust the volume of your stream on my side, so as long as it doesn't make you echo.
What,
I'm
video
not.
playback aborted due to a network error, huh?
Dude, I'm saying it's not my internet.
I think it's them. Hold on. I'm curious if we go to Billy, is there a match 89 for this available for us?
I still don't even know how you saw match 89. I even in when you send me the link, I click the link and it shows, the video we were just watching, but in the background, the only videos that it shows goes up to 82 for me.
That yeah. So the way that I found it, and I'll show you later, is that you have to go to playback and then go to the final whatever it's called, playback final like matches or whatever, and then it'll show you like in the actual match replay. It's so silly. It's so strange. Okay, we do see some here. Match 88. Is this match 89? This is match 89. Okay, I found it on Billy. Let's see if this works better. Maybe this player is better. 59.
I also have my player back up just in case we get desperate. In fact, I'm gonna scroll mine to.
Okay, this seems a lot better. I think we're at it.
Dude, the res is crazy though.
Hold on, let me change the resolution. I think this is the resolution. 16 by 9. Okay, no, it's not the resolution. Hazmat. Settings. What else is resolution? Is that resolution? Is that HD? Oh, here we go. Resolution. 720p. I have to log in for 720p.
All right,
That's
here's
crazy.
what we're gonna do. I'm gonna throw it back over to mine.
Yep.
You can keep working on yours quietly if you want, and then you just let me know if mine gets stuck. I've got it toggleable, so we'll just switch over to yours.
Sounds
Let's see
great.
if we can limp our way through, guys. We are. I warned Shaur, and we decided to risk it for the biscuit, but
it was working so well. It was working
going
so well.
Spoiler alert: South China won that one. I skipped forward because I started watching
almost
the same
definitely.
10 seconds. Should not be a spoiler. Here we go. MVP for the dart, 100% agree. Absolutely crushed it. Also, the sentry was a good take.
Yeah.
We talked about the sentry damage done to the outpost. It also participated in a lot of kills. Did well.
Absolutely. I think, that Scut dart is really pulling in a lot of weight for Scut at this moment. I think, the sentry was doing really well. Both standards were actually playing well in this particular match. Given that we had we had the ability to keep that hero out of commission. I wonder what did happen actually to the Taurus hero. This is actually so I've been going back through a lot of the stream feedback we got for last couple of years of RMUC Preston, and this is actually a bit of feedback that I got a lot, and I'm actually interested in your thoughts on this while we're waiting for this last match to go, Game 5 to go in, Deadass Finals, as we will. People were saying they would love to be able to see more interviews from not just the winners of matches, but also the losing driver team, and be able to hear their thoughts on what they think could have gone better, what didn't go well, what could have gone, things like that. Because there's a perception that in Roadmaster it's oh, you can't really talk about the things that are getting you down as a team, and I think that's a very interesting comment that I've seen more than once now. So I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are on doing that, perhaps a competition this year. And Steven, you're in chat as well, so you're welcome to weigh in. Welcome to weigh in on this as well.
You're saying, what are my thoughts on interviewing the loser?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think
if
it depends on the match. So right now, at the end of this round, I do not think you should interview the loser. When you're in groups still, and when you're early in the bracket, I think that's a great option to interview the loser and kind of get a feel for what went wrong. What are you going to change up for the next round or the next match? I think when you've finished a tournament, when you're at the end, you should interview the winner, and that's about it. I think that's my take. Do you have a different opinion?
My thought process, and this is just because I'm thinking of Formula One, I'm thinking of Melee and how it's done in those two particular situations. It's very interesting to me to be able to talk to both sides almost and be like, hey, like you still did great. Like if you got to grand finals, for example, you still did amazing. Obviously, you took it to game 5. Like great for you. But it allows them to be like, yeah, like a 5-game match is not easy by any means. And sometimes things break. For example, that hero didn't totally work up to standard. Things like that don't necessarily always go the way that you hope it will.
Sure.
And so I feel like that's like a very interesting like commentary to get from someone who didn't necessarily win the match either. Because I think there's still things you can do well even if you lose. And I think it is match dependent. I do agree with that.
So
but it was
the only
the
pushback I'll give is that in
Mhm.
RMNA, so far in the last like 3 years,
there's not been an easy dub on any capacity. There's not been like a hard fought match. That's true.
For the grand finals, right? Like UW has not really struggled in the grand finals in a while. I think if this year, if it does go to 5, for sure, like it'd be really interesting to interview, right? Talk to the winners, talk to the second place, the runners up. I still think the more interesting conversations to have with losing teams is in the midst of the tournament.
Absolutely.
You can ask a lot more about what they're going to change, what they're going to do differently if they have to play that team again. Like, are they going to adopt the strategy that beat them? Are they going to try and do something counter? Like, there's a lot more to discuss than, hey, you lost. See you next year.
Absolutely.
What are you going to do? Build better robots?
All
right, you ready to give
I
this
actually
a try?
like that. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's see if it's working now.
Round 5.
And if it's not, I also have it.
1 hour, 8 minutes if you're trying to keep your backup stream ready.
I'm there. Backup is ready. It's a little bit scuffed. It's a little less nice to look at, but it is there. 360p quality.
Hey. That's what we ended up doing, unfortunately, for the A&M international finals international games this last year in RMUC. We watched it in like 480. It was terrible.
Steven asking in chat, how did Caliber keep getting better every match in 23? They just kept improving their code. Their sentry started to do more and more as the matches went on in 23. They were also just like, their strategy also just kept getting more and more refined. I think it was genuinely just a matter of also like people were not like ready to be up against them. Let me just hit this ban.
All right. It looks like I'm buffering pretty hard again, Shaur.
All right, you're tapped out. Let's watch 360p then.
I think so.
It's what we have to do.
Let's see what happens on 360p.
It's like it never stopped.
Dang, that was flawless. We're so good at our jobs.
Literally, this is what they should pay us the big bucks for. And instead we do this entirely for free and way more than we have to.
Hey, yo. For the love of the game.
It is all for the love of the game. I keep telling that, actually. I remember I had this discussion with someone recently about, like, they were asking me, like, why do you always go and do so much streaming for, like, Robomaster content? Like, grow your own brand. Like, do something else. And I'm like, it's for the love of the game. You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't understand.
He says on his own brand doing Robomaster's content. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, what the? Why is it hitting me with the... Can I not watch the whole thing without logging in? No, okay, we're good. That was just a momentary hiccup.
All right,
in the otherwise perfect relationship.
Look, the first 3.5 rounds went flawlessly. Okay,
yeah,
you take what you can get.
You take what you can get.
It's like a real life Robomasters competition, Shaur. The first 3 rounds went really smooth. Then we had some timeouts, and now we're back.
I will say I am gonna in post upload a version of all the South Division together, spliced together as one thing, and I'll cut out all the like in between stuff that happens, things that aren't really relevant to the conversation, the scrubbing through, etc. And that way everyone can go and watch the entire South Division that we covered at least in one nice long form video. 17 seconds left here, Preston. What are you expecting? What do you have? It's grand finals, dead ass finals, as we say in the FGC. What's your bet if you had to be a betting man here today?
Let me think for a second. I'll try and think out loud.
You've been given a technical timeout, so
which strategy do I think is more repeatable is what I'm thinking of. So if I'm the red team, your hero needs to be he needs time. If you just give the hero time and space, he does really well. I think I have to put my money on South China, similar to Steven in chat. So my thought process is if South China can just kill the hero for Team Taurus. Team Taurus really is playing true to the names of the bots, right? They're playing like it's freaking League of Legends, and they have one champion. They have one hero.
Oh yeah.
And they have one support hero, and they got a bunch of little minions running around. Whereas South China, if they can take down that hero, I think 2 times. If they can take down that hero 2 times, they win. And they can use any bot to take down the hero. The sentry might do it for them. The drone could do it. The standards could do it. And so I feel like their strategy has a lot more avenues. Even though I think they're playing from the back foot. So I think Taurus has the advantage of, if South China does nothing, they win.
Mm-hmm.
Taurus wins.
Yeah.
But South China has the advantage of, if they do any one of like 6 things, they win.
Yep. Yep.
So that's where my money's at.
All right. I am going to go against the grain here, Steven and Preston. I'm going to have my money on Taurus for 2 reasons. Number 1, they got Minecraft robots, and Minecraft is just, you've won my heart over that way. Number 2, I think while I agree that if that hero goes down, Scott wins, I could definitely see a reality where Scott is just a little too defensive at the beginning, as we saw in the first 2 games, and Taurus capitalizes by by basically like counteracting with the same strategy. Right? That's my current like thought process. If I'm Taurus, I'm thinking, how do I counteract that strategy? And the best way is to simply eliminate their standards as fast as possible, which I think is easier for standard v standard than to get the standard all the way to the hero side, knock it out, not get knocked out by other standards as well, right? So I think this is definitely I think Taurus has the easier game plan in that regard, and that you just need to keep your hero alive, and I think that's easier than trying to knock out something else.
That's fair. I mean, and we haven't seen Taurus do it, but they could totally switch to a turtle tactic, right? Like they could just be a siege machine. Instead of sending their standards to go harass like what they've been doing, they could just sit with both of their standards and their sentry right next to their hero and just understand that South China has to come to them, because if they don't, Taurus will just win the base race.
All right, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here just so we can get started on this match.
Ooh, good call.
Bases are closing up.
You know what, Shaur, I gotta say, if you're watching this on the phone, the resolution looks great.
Really?
Well, I mean, if
hey, you know what?
Tiny, if you're watching in vertical mode like me, absolute heathen.
Perfect. I'm glad to hear that. On my full 4K monitor, it looks horrible. And we're going to get into this horrible looking match in 1 second.
South China University of Technology versus Team Taurus, the agricultural university. We'll see how it goes.
Deadass finals.
Normal start from... Oh, I lied. Not a normal start from the blue engineer. He's trying to go up the ramp, having a bit of a problem. A slower econ start from South China. We'll see if that plays in later.
Might be really bad for them.
What is happening?
Immediately, the red hero already taking shots at the outpost, but so is the blue drone.
Yeah, man, that drone's got it dialed. I don't think we've seen a drone more accurate on the outpost than the South China one.
It's evident, and just look at it. We're looking at it right now. It's like
he's not dropping a projectile with the switch.
Clockwork. It's clockwork.
Wow, I would have never guessed that the drone could out DPS a hero on the base.
Yeah,
I meant outpost.
All right, now those blue standards are getting involved. This is what we're going to see. Does it actually what is the actual strategy
from
the South China team?
Big moment for South China. They need these
darts,
to connect.
And they hit it immediately. Blue hero also lining up shots right now, has 10 projectiles on it.
Second dart.
Starting to hit that down. Second dart does miss, however.
Their hero landed one of the sniper shots, though. They can land another. There we go. South China just needs just a couple more of those. They land about 4 every round. There's 3. They're way ahead of schedule.
Resident 4 taking a huge tumble, picking itself back up, though, like as if nothing happened.
Steven saying it's viable. Super true. This was definitely the best start from South China. The drone for Taurus.
However, now the base is exposed, and the hero for Taurus is starting to take some shots down.
Blue standard 3, though. Blue standard 3 is in the mix. Excellent job. He takes down the hero. The hero is dead.
out of position, knocking it out. That's going to be really bad for Taurus.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take the Scud strategy, still holding strong.
South China did lose a standard in that skirmish, but totally worth it. You'll take that every day of the week.
Totally worth it. Because you're still winning in the objectives by a significant margin. You got to stay ahead. If you get even, you lose against Taurus in this case.
Oh, man. South China's got it dialed. 3 in a row, and then one that counted for a standard, but they're back 5.
Red Hero is alive again, moving back towards the position. Will it even matter, though? If South China just keeps hitting these shots, it won't even matter. No one pressuring the blue hero at all, with only 970 health left.
South China, absolute tear in this last round. Round 5 grand finals for the South region. The base in shambles. The dart closing up for Taurus. They really needed some of those to connect, in my opinion. The drone from South China focusing the objective. Why not? 3 minutes and 55 seconds to go.
Like, worst case, you get a little bit of extra damage on, or best case, you get a little bit extra damage on. Worst case, just don't do much.
Here's the hero from Team Taurus.
Is now active, but look at how fast the blue center 3 is already there, ready to start attacking it immediately.
He needs to attack a little faster. Hero continuing to launch projectiles. Actually missing several of them, though.
But it's taking a ton of damage now from blue center 3. Oh. Red center 3 just barely saving the hero, bailing it out, able to still be able to make those shots.
Red standard 4 ejected with a Wi-Fi card disabled.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Team Taurus drone almost able to take out the sentry from South China.
Not pushing any farther. You're down a standard.
533 health remaining. This is very similar to the previous round where I called that South China had a bit of a trouble finishing out these games. They might do it with the dart.
Seeing the dart open, one dart shot is all it needs to take it out now. Very possible to do here. Blue center 4 sacrificing their life for Shurima. Missing 1 dart, missing 2. Oh, all these hero shots are
swagger.
too low.
Hey, there it is.
Hits, and that's all Scott needed was that last dart shot. Beautiful play by Scud. Absolutely amazing. They capitalized on their strategy so well. Standards were able to get in and just do so much damage to that red hero, making it really difficult for Taurus to come back. Even so, Taurus down a standard and being harassed on their hero, which was their best robot, unable to land any darts, keeping it still close. It was definitely not a one match for Scud until that last dart hit.
Yes, I agree. South China really leaning on their dart throughout the series. But like we talked about, right? They had a slightly more rounded team than Team Taurus. Taurus had a fantastic hero, and they were able to play with it, and it worked very well, right? They were able to play around it, round 1, round 2, but as soon as South China kind of adjusted their strategy to account for the fact that there would be that focal point on the opposite team, right? One of the teams I like a lot calls it protect the president, right? That needed to be Team Taurus. And round 1 and round 2, frankly, they didn't have to protect the president because there were no threats. They just sent their standards onto the enemy map. The enemy got so distracted dealing with those standards in their own base that, I mean, the hero was just chilling. Round 4, round 5, round 3, though, the South China University of Technology was really able to apply some pressure to the hero. They didn't allow him to get very many shots in a row. And I will note that round 5, I believe that hero really stepped up from the blue side and landed a few more projectiles than I perhaps would have guessed from that sniper position.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just a great play from Scott in general. I love the adaptation, the way that they realized, like, what were they doing wrong in that first 2 games, and then went, let's start capitalizing, and Taurus just couldn't adapt nearly as fast. They couldn't keep their hero alive, couldn't do the protect the president strategy like you said. And that's kind of what sealed the deal for them.
Yeah, congratulations to South China. I mean, absolutely thrilling games to watch. Really cool robots. I think we saw every drive system in one game. We had Omni Drive, Swerve Drive, Mechnums, Balancings,
Chain,
Jumping Balancing. I mean, it was just absolutely wild. So really cool to see
robots.
Yeah, so much innovation in these competitive teams.
Absolutely.
There can be a tendency amongst all of us probably to look at the top tier teams and be like, oh yeah, but they're not like pushing the envelope. They're not really trying new things. They're just kind of using what worked before,
Yeah.
which actually, Shar, transitions us really well to the question of the day. Um, Chat, if you have a question you want me and Shar to talk about, it can be RoboMasters focused, technology focused. You can put a crazy one in there. I don't know if I'll pick it or not, but especially if you have a science, engineering, technology question, you want our thoughts, you want us to discuss, throw it in there, or I'll just pick one for us. But the question of the day today is who gets more engineering education, as this is a university-based team, out of RoboMasters? A founding member, or like a member that starts on a very young team and builds robots from nothing, or the member of an established team. So like if you join UW or TAMU or VT this year, you're presented with a full fleet of robots, right? They've got the drone, they've got the engineer, they have the whole squad. And so the question is, what are the differences, and really, who do you feel like gets more out of it from an education perspective?
Well, I'm gonna go first here then, Preston, because I think I have an interesting take here. I think that there's nothing quite like the experience of building everything from scratch that really gives you an appreciation for the whole system. Being a founding member, I feel like really allows you to like dig deep into like the theory, into the practical application. And I guess the best part is like you're not just sitting there crafting like, oh, what could be, right? You have to actually put something together completely from scratch. You bring it to comp, it probably works like 30% of the time, but you learn what makes it work that 30% of the time. And it's like what I say, like 80% of the effort. All right, I didn't make this up. This is something that people say, but it's like they say 80% of the effort for, or sorry, 20% of the effort for 80% of the actual results. And I feel like that's what you get as a founding member. You get to put in 20% of the effort, you get 20% of the way there to like a full 100% like crazy strong robot. And you're still like 80% functional, 80% capable of actually playing the game, getting into the strategy, getting into the full system. So personally, my money is on you get more engineering education out of being a founding member. But that's me personally.
Okay. I think that you get the same amount of engineering education, but in a different type of like engineering. So, for example, if you are looking to gain a lot of experience in hands-on physical robot building, code writing, manufacturing experience, design for manufacture, design for assembly, right? These types of, I mean, even GD&T, geometric dimensioning and tolerancing, these like basic design principles that are really important and oftentimes lack in engineering education. Being a founding member is awesome. As someone that helped start the team at A&M, I was on the team for like 6 years though, so I'll talk a little bit about the later members that joined as well. But as one of the founding members, you do get to see these. You get to build the robots out of nothing. You start with basically no money, right? You're building robots from scratch.
Yep.
You're getting really nitty gritty. We're spending our time in the design studio, in the maker spaces, building these out of like aluminum tubing, and we're prototyping out of cardboard. Right, our first hero hopper was made out of cardboard, and then the actual hopper for year one was made out of wood. I mean, it's a very different style, but you learn a lot, right? You learn a ton really quick, and you've got to fix it frequently. Fast forward a few years in a team's history, and if you join an established team of RoboMasters, you will learn a lot about some more niche, but high, like, quality is not the right word. It's a more niche, but a more intense or elevated, sophisticated, thank you, engineering discipline. So if you join an established team, you might spend your whole time software doing computer vision, right? Or self-driving. Whereas from a software point of view, if you join a brand new team, you're going to spend your whole time doing basic controls and like motor operation and how do encoders work and like PWM signals, and like you're going to be pulling out an oscilloscope to see what your PWM thing is doing because gosh dang it, nothing's spinning like at all, right?
Yeah.
You're also going to be writing a huge code base and like starting things and learning a lot about. You could probably talk way more about the software side, but starting from nothing, you'll be learning lessons about writing a large amount of code and good habits, and you're gonna bite yourself in the butt. and you're going to
You're
find
going
out
to make some horrible decisions while
just
writing that
terrible,
software.
terrible, right?
It's the
But if
worst
you
decision.
jump into an established team, you'll be working on computer vision, you'll be working on self-driving, you'll be tuning models, you'll be building efficiency. Um, and
Yeah.
from a mechanical perspective, right, very similarly, if you jump in and I hand you a built standard, well, like Ian at Texas A&M, fantastic standard lead, right? Joined the team after I had already started developing standard, helped me build those first couple standards for sure, right? But by the time he was team lead, we had a standard that worked great. So he developed a balancing standard. Because why not,
Yeah.
right? He has time,
You might
they
as
have
well.
space,
You
they
have
have
the
money.
time. I think at the time you also have the previous learnings, right? Because a balancing
Yes.
standard, you have to have already known how the standard itself
Yeah.
works in order to continue forward with that, right?
And you really want to make sure that you, like, the whole team needs that previous learning. You want a software
Oh
team that
yeah.
has already mastered four-wheel drive before you say, hey, now we have this two-wheeled robot.
Yep. You need to know how mechanisms work and how to
Yeah,
like rotate and do spinning and all that good stuff, so you can translate that to at least a two-wheel balancing.
100%. I mean,
The
year one,
balancing
right? Our
actually
PID
ability
tuning has a
there.
lot of oscillations in our pitch.
Mhm.
You
Yep.
need all
Yep.
that worked out before you start trying to do like an unstable equilibrium kind of
Yeah.
dynamics problem for a balancing bot.
Absolutely.
And I will say that both of those I've seen mirrored in industry. So
Hmm.
I work as a test engineer.
Yeah.
Shout out. I have a lot of fun. I do a lot of the founding member of engineering style engineering.
Hmm.
I work in Texas in the oil and gas industry, so it's often referenced as we cowboy the crap out of stuff. We do bespoke engineering for people. So if you come to our company and you tell us that you need a certain type of test run, um, and we don't have the equipment already built to test it, we'll tell you sure, and we'll give you a quote and we'll knock it out pretty quick. So we'll build stuff from the ground up very quickly. It needs to work on the first or second try, right? We don't have time
Yeah.
to iterate on it. At the same time, we also build like custom pressure systems for clients, and those need to be refined and work with high repeatability, high
Yeah.
reliability, right? Um, and so I've seen both sides in industry. I can promise you they both exist in jobs.
Oh
So
yeah.
totally worth it no matter where your team is at. But really interesting to kind of look at the different types of experience you get.
Yeah, absolutely. I can also agree on my job and what I've done in picnic robotics. Similarly, same stuff where we have some service contracts where we have to do something really quick to iterate, throw it up to them, give it to them in like a month, and it's like, here's your whole robot simulation, here's the hardware driver you asked for. Good luck, have fun, right? Not a lot of ability to like fine tune any of that. But then we have some of our more like advanced like ML product applications where we're like doing diffusion policy stuff that takes a lot of work and refinement, takes a lot of work to get the segmentation stuff working. It's like, oh, I want to make a whole algorithm that will see a sock on like a vent. We'll pick up that sock, we'll drop it into the correct place. And like, how do you get the whole thing working end to end with no issues from anywhere in an unstructured environment? It takes a lot of iteration to do that. But yeah, it's very similar. I think I agree with you on that regard, where you're getting different kinds of knowledge. And while one, I think like the foundational like knowledge is really nice to have and is probably what you're going to need the most of in that college environment. I think that the established teams give you the knowledge that you will take into your job and actually use. You know what I mean? Like that's the stuff that like I remember when my roadmaster time came in and I was doing a lot of more established work. I was like, these are the keywords, these are the things that I get to like try, at least on the software side, and have really like been things that I actually do continuously in industry. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I got a hot take before we wrap up.
Oh, amazing. A
I
good
think
thing to
for
wrap up on is
most
a hot take.
students, the
Mhm.
established team members will be better represented on their resume. Like if you join an
Yeah.
established team, I think most students will have an easier time making that look as good as it is on a resume.
Yeah. Mhm.
Starting a team can
Way
look, I
harder.
promise you, really impressive on a resume, but it takes more effort and creativity to really be able to communicate clearly what the heck you have done. Right? You're not going to be able to throw buzzwords like AI, computer vision, self-driving, right? You're not going to throw out buzzwords like that on your resume if your team is just building this little Mechnum wheel four-wheeled robot that kind of moves around. Um, but on the flip side, right, being a founding member, I'm able to talk about the time that we turned a motor into a lathe to use a manual hacksaw to cut through steel in an apartment in China. right? Because we're there for a competition year one, right? I'm able to talk about using a water gun from a children's store in China
Mhm.
as a feeding tube for hero projectiles, and like really describe this crazy amount of innovation and creativity that
That's
RoboMasters brings
so
out of
cool.
students that
Yeah.
that might not be there anymore. Like if you're using a water gun to fix the standard of UW, you've done something, you've lost the plot, right? Like you should have
Yeah,
backup
I doubt
parts.
that's
You just
happening
3D
anymore.
print a new one. Like
Mhm.
it's just there.
Yeah,
So
we love our scrappy teams, though. I absolutely love the scrappier teams in RMNA. Anyways,
100%.
Preston, I think this is a great place to wrap it up. It's late. I'm hungry,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir. All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll be back on Sunday,
Yes,
streaming to
Sunday.
you starting the Central region, which is very exciting.
It's gonna
If
be
you have a
incredibly awesome.
question that you want us to talk about, maybe you want to hear more about something, I don't care. It can be whatever. Anything technology, engineering, robotics, or esports related, throw it in the comments in YouTube. Um, and we'll see if we can throw it on the stream for you.
Yeah, catch you guys later.
Bye.
Peace.